Have you ever felt like men and women are just playing by a completely different set of rules? Well, today we're diving into two sources that argue that's exactly what's happening. They propose two incredibly different game plans for how to get by in the world. So let's break it down. Right out of the gate, our first source hits us with this really provocative claim. The idea here is that for men, just existing isn't enough. Survival and value has to be earned, and society just has a fundamentally different bar for them.
And then, on the flip side, the second source gives an equally blunt warning, but this one's aimed squarely at women. It's directly linking modern dating culture to mental instability. So it's pretty clear from the jump, these sources are describing two very, very different playing fields.
Okay, let's start with the men's rulebook. The first source kicks things off with this core concept it calls the masculine mandate. And really, it all boils down to the difference between competency and, just existing. So, what does this actually mean? The core idea is that, according to this theory, a man's value isn't something he's born with. It's something that has to be built and proven over and over again through what he can do. It's all about performance, it's all about achievement, and it's all external.
So if value is all about what you can do, then what does that look like in practice? Well, the source draws this incredibly sharp line in the sand between what it argues really matters for men and what it sees as, frankly, a total waste of time.
And yeah, this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? The argument is that, like it or not, society values the doer, the builder, the achiever way more than anything else. It's not about passive things like your looks. It's a game of active, constant performance.
And from that central idea, the source lays out this really direct three-step game plan. It's basically a call to action for men to stop worrying about how they look and to instead pour all their energy into building tangible skills and getting things done. Okay, so that's the proposed rulebook for men. Now, let's completely switch gears. We're going to flip the board over and look at the second source, which outlines a totally different set of costs and consequences, this time focused on women. Now, this source introduces a pretty controversial idea. It calls body count trauma. The whole argument is that for women, the emotional pain that comes from having a lot of breakups isn't just, social conditioning. It's supposedly a deep conflict with their own biology. And what's really interesting is just how specific the source gets about the supposed consequences. We're not just talking about feeling down after a breakup here. As this slide shows, it's claiming there are real, tangible, long-term psychological costs. So you're probably asking, okay, but why? What's the mechanism here? Well, the source zeroes in on one specific psychological concept, pair bonding. And crucially, what it claims is a diminishing ability to do it. And this right here is the heart of the argument. It's this idea of a finite capacity. The source suggests that the ability to form that deep, lasting bond isn't a bottomless well. It's presented as something that can be worn down or even damaged by what it calls repeated, shallow attachments. All right, so let's pull back and look at the big picture. What we have are two sources describing a world where it's not just that men and women are using different strategies in the same game, it's like they're playing two completely different sports, with fundamentally different rules for how you win and how you lose. This table just synthesizes the two worldviews perfectly. According to this material, the man's game is totally external. His biggest risk is failure, so his strategy has to be action. The woman's game is internal. Her biggest risk is emotional damage, so her strategy is selectivity. You really couldn't get two more different paths. And this brings us to the central, really provocative question that this material leaves us with. If men are playing a game of external achievement and women are playing a game of internal preservation, what happens when these two completely different rule books collide in the real world? What does that actually mean for how we all connect, partner up, and try to build a life together? That is a lot to think about.